Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I'm really appreciative of all the support that you guys have been sending my way in the form of comments, subscriptions, and all the love that I've been getting from you guys. I really appreciate it. In this video, I want to speak to you guys about how INFJs are like puzzle piece seekers. So what we're trying to do as an INFJ is we're trying to figure out find the solution to the problem, which is, what are we doing here, right? Why am I here? What's my purpose? What is the purpose of humanity in general? What's the purpose of this universe? All those big questions, we are seeking the answers to those questions. We're sitting here asking those questions over and over again, seeking those answers in a wide variety of ways. People do it differently. And not only INFJs are doing that. I think people in general nowadays, there is this general sense of awakening where people in general are searching for those answers. But INFJs have this drive. We would do this answer seeking over anything else that we might be capable of doing on this planet, right? So if we have to choose between seeking these answers and eating food, we would choose seeking the answers. If we have to choose between that and having children or getting married or going to university or all those other things, we prefer to sit and seek those answers. I think our top priority as an INFJ on this planet is seeking those answers. We are puzzle piece seekers. We want to know what the next piece of the puzzle is. We want to know what the next idea, the big idea, or the next big answer is going to be. And we spend most of our time as INFJs in our caves, sitting, reflecting, contemplating, journaling, meditating on those questions, trying to find those important answers. A lot of us know that we're not going to find all of the answers in one journey, one of these lifetimes, or even 1,000 of these lifetimes. There's a lot of questions and a lot of answers to be sought. And we know that's going to take several 100,000 lifetimes perhaps to find those answers. But our paramount goal as a human being on this planet, as an INFJ, is to seek those answers. No matter what else we end up doing with our life, right? I mean, all of the videos that I do are about seeking answers. There are so many puzzle pieces that we're looking for the answers to. All these puzzle pieces that we're trying to fit in to a certain space, and perhaps it fits in perfectly, perhaps it doesn't. We're trying to fit it in. And with these videos, I'm trying to find some of those answers. And with everything else I do, I'm trying to find some of those answers. With everything else you guys do, you're trying to find some of those answers as well. And so our entire existence is based on these puzzle seeking or puzzle piece seeking mechanism. Our entire days, our entire hours, our entire lifetimes, we're just sitting there looking for the answers. Now, why does it matter? Like, why am I doing a video on this if it's so obvious and if all of us are doing it? The reason is that I think a lot of us get disheartened, and I know I do. We get disheartened, or we get disillusioned, or we get depressed when we think that we don't have the answers yet, or that we thought we had one of the answers and all of a sudden we realized that it was completely the wrong answer. For the longest time when I was in my 20s, I thought that I had the answers, right? As every young person thinks. I thought that I knew what the puzzle pieces were all about, and I knew what I was here to do, and I knew exactly what my path was supposed to be, and I knew exactly what work to do in order to get to that end goal. And soon after I started doing all that stuff, I realized that that was not the right path for me, and I was being disillusioned, or perhaps I was taking in the answers from someone else and playing the chameleon role, and I had the wrong answers really all throughout. And then I found other answers, and I contemplated on that, worked with it, tweaked it a little bit, and I have certain answers right now that I'm working with, which is the life that I'm leading right now. And I'm sure in a few years I'll be sitting here talking to you guys, hopefully, and saying that I was mistaken and I thought I had the answers and they were the wrong answers, or they were the right answers for that time, but are the wrong answers for the future, right? So we're constantly changing ourselves. And so If you think that you are mistaken about a certain idea and you were following it for years and years on end, and suddenly you realize, shoot, I'm on the wrong path, or this is not the right path for me going forward, then that's not actually a bad thing or a good thing. I don't think that's a wrong thing necessarily. I think this is something that everyone goes through. We find a certain answer which is right for us in that particular moment, and we play with it and we run with it, and then we run with it for a few months, a few years, and then we realize, okay, I've grown, I've changed as a human being, the world has changed, the environment I'm in has changed, and so therefore that answer that I had, that was the true answer at that point, is not the true answer anymore, right? And I need to find the next true answer. And so that's what it is all about. I think we'll be doing this until the end of time, until the end of our lifetime here, and then the end of all of our lifetimes, right? We're constantly going to be finding a particular answer, playing with it, running with it, particularly applying it into our life and telling everyone, I have the answer, and this is the answer, it's the ultimate answer. And realizing that's not really true, because new information has cropped up, new environments have cropped up, new decisions have to be made. Things are always changing so rapidly. So therefore, it's all right for you guys to change your mind, is basically what I'm saying, because I've changed my mind so many times in this puzzle seeking behavior that I have. And so I'll find a certain puzzle piece and I'll be so excited about it, and I'll tell everyone about it, my parents, my family, friends, and they're gonna be like, well, you've done this before. You found a puzzle piece, you've been so excited about it, and then it was not the right puzzle piece anymore, and then you change your mind, so I don't think I can trust you anymore. And in the past, I would get disheartened by that. I'd be like, oh, really? Am I the kind of person who's always changing her mind? Am I the kind of person who doesn't know what she's doing? Am I the kind of person who's impulsive, spontaneous, all those terrible things? But now I realize that's all right to change your mind in that manner, because nothing in this world stays constant. In fact, chaos, controlled chaos, I think would be the best way to deal with this world that we live in. You do a little bit of things, you try a little bit of few things, and you see some of those works for you, other stuff doesn't work for you, throw out the stuff that doesn't work, keep the stuff that does work, play with it a little bit more. Eventually that stuff is not going to work anymore as well. Then you have to go seeking other answers, other things, you play with that a little bit more, some of it works, some of it doesn't, and thus the cycle continues. Not a vicious cycle, but it's a cycle, and you keep on working with it for as long as possible, right? Until you die, perhaps. But I really want to pull us back as INFJs and really remind us that this is not a negative sort of behavior. We don't need to be harsh on ourselves or hard on ourselves or feel bad for ourselves because we display this kind of behavior. In fact, I think of it as one of my key features, one of those things that I'm proud of, that I am extremely adaptable and flexible, which means that as things change around me, I'm able to say, okay, the paradigm that I was following yesterday does not work in this new world I'm in right now, and therefore I have to move to a different way of doing things. It's one of the reasons I guess I'm able to travel so well and move from place to place so well, because the paradigms that might work for living in Toronto, Canada, are not going to be exactly the same, absolutely not going to be exactly the same as the paradigms you use in order to live in Chiang Mai, Thailand. It's going to be completely different, and you have to adapt yourself to the new world as it changes. Especially now that we're living in this world where change is, I think, it is the normal. The new normal is change. It's not, I don't think it's anymore the world where everything remains constant. It is the world that we live in, that everything's constantly changing. And so we have to become that person that is fine with making a decision, running with it for a few years, few months, few weeks, and then realizing it doesn't work anymore, and then moving on to a new thing. Now, people are going to be against that, obviously, because people don't like change, and they especially don't like people who are changing all the time. I know I always get a lot of negativity from people because I, as an individual, as a person, as an INFJ, am always changing my mind in terms of kind of adapting myself to what's going on around me, playing with ideas, working with them, perhaps discarding them because they don't work for me, and keeping some ideas that work. And all that playing with ideas and discarding them is considered a negative thing by a lot of people. They want you to stick with something for the rest of eternity. And sometimes as I said, in this world that's constantly changing, that's actually an impossibility. If you want to, succeed, or if you want to progress in this world, you have to constantly be adapting yourself to new ideas, pulling in new ideas, trying them out, and working with them. Being comfortable with that, I think, is the key to living in this new world. And so that's why I believe that INFJs would be able to do really well if we can really just adapt ourselves to living in this new world paradigm. So don't take it as a negative thing that you can change your ideas or adapt to new ideas so easily. I think it's a good thing. Again, if you guys have any questions at all about this particular idea or any other video topics that I have done in the past, I'd love to hear from you guys. All my contact information is in the description below. Or you can comment below, obviously. I read all comments about once or twice a week, so please do comment. And thank you so much. I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.